Sometimes the most powerful stories aren't the ones filled with grand gestures, but the quiet ones, moments that slip into our lives and remind us what it truly means to love someone. Today, I want to share a story that reaches straight into the heart. It's about memory loss and the kind of connection that refuses to disappear no matter how much time or illness tries to take it away. This is the story of a mother and daughter, two people separated not by distance, but by a disease that slowly rewrites the mind. And yet, even through all the confusion, even through all the days when recognition fades and returns like a fading echo, something incredibly beautiful still survives. If you've ever loved someone who's slipping away, if you've ever held on to hope when the world told you to let go, or if you simply believe that love can outlast even the harshest challenges, then this story will speak to you deeply. So stay with me until the end. Because what happens when this mother and daughter finally reunite is not just emotional. It's a reminder of the strength we all carry inside us, the resilience of the human heart, and the quiet miracles that appear when we refuse to give up on someone we love. Let's begin. The emotional impact of Alzheimer's is profound because the disease affects far more than memory. It reshapes relationships, identity, and the emotional landscape of everyone involved. For the person living with Alzheimer's, the world gradually becomes unfamiliar, even frightening. Simple tasks feel overwhelming, and faces that once brought comfort may begin to blur. This can lead to moments of frustration, anxiety, and confusion as they struggle to understand why their mind no longer works the way it once did. They often sense that something is slipping away, even if they cannot articulate it, creating an underlying sadness that lingers in their expressions and behavior. For family members, especially close ones like daughters, sons, or spouses, the emotional toll can be even more complicated. Watching a loved one fade in and out of clarity feels like grieving someone who is still physically present. Conversations that once flowed easily may become fragmented or one-sided. The person who once offered advice, love, and stability may now depend entirely on others for support. This reversal of roles can bring feelings of guilt, helplessness, and exhaustion, particularly when caregivers struggle to remain patient while dealing with repeated questions or forgotten moments. There is also the heartbreak of unpredictability. A mother might recognize her daughter clearly one morning, smiling with the warmth she always had, only to look confused or distant by the afternoon. These fluctuations create emotional whiplash, leaving loved ones constantly balancing hope and realism. The fear of losing meaningful connection becomes a constant presence, making every moment feel either precious or painfully fragile. At the same time, Alzheimer's deeply impacts emotional communication. Even when words are lost, feelings are not. A touch, a familiar tone of voice, or a shared memory can spark brief flashes of recognition or affection. These moments can be powerful, small, but unforgettable reminders that the person is still there behind the illness. They may not remember everything or everyone, but they can still feel love, safety, joy, and comfort. That emotional core often remains intact long after memories begin to fade. For caregivers and family members, these fleeting connections bring both comfort and sorrow. They offer hope, yet also underline how much has changed. The emotional impact is therefore a complex blend of love, grief, perseverance, and the deep desire to hold onto a relationship that is constantly shifting under the weight of the disease. The separation backstory in a situation involving a mother with Alzheimer's often reflects a combination of emotional, medical, and practical circumstances that gradually create distance, even when love remains strong. Alzheimer's is a progressive illness, meaning the mother's condition may slowly worsen over time, requiring more specialized care than family members can safely provide at home. As her memory declines, so does her ability to manage daily tasks, recognize familiar environments, or respond safely to emergencies. This can lead to confusion, wandering, or moments of fear that become increasingly difficult for loved ones to manage without professional support. As a result, many families make the difficult decision to transition the mother to a care facility or memory home, a choice rooted not in abandonment, but in ensuring her safety and well-being. This transition alone creates a physical separation, but emotional separation can happen long before the move. Alzheimer's causes moments when the mother becomes distant, detached, or unable to express herself clearly. Conversations may grow shorter, memories fade, and once familiar traditions or routines become difficult to maintain. Even while still living together, the daughter may feel as though she is losing her mother piece by piece, creating a sense of separation that is invisible but deeply felt. In some cases, the separation may also stem from circumstances beyond health. Work responsibilities, living in different cities, or family situations might limit how often the daughter can visit. Life realities and the unpredictable nature of the illness can make regular contact difficult, especially when the mother's condition fluctuates or becomes emotionally overwhelming for the family to witness. When visits do happen, they may feel brief or incomplete, as the mother might not always be present mentally, even if she is there physically. Additionally, the progression of Alzheimer's often comes with periods of agitation or confusion that can lead caregivers to temporarily restrict visits for the mother's comfort. Medical transitions, evaluations, or changes in medication can also create gaps in visitation, adding to the overall distance. These moments of separation accumulate, creating a backstory that explains why mother and daughter may not have seen each other for days, weeks, or even longer. Despite all of this, the separation never diminishes the bond between them. Each moment apart shapes the emotional weight of any reunion, making it more meaningful when recognition returns. Even briefly, the distance becomes part of the journey, adding layers of longing, hope, and quiet resilience that define the relationship as they navigate the challenges of Alzheimer's together. Building tension and hope in a story involving a mother with Alzheimer's and her daughter centers on the unpredictable nature of the illness and the emotional uncertainty that surrounds each interaction. Alzheimer's creates a world where clarity can appear and vanish without warning, making every visit feel like a delicate balance between heartbreak and possibility. The daughter walks into each moment unsure of what she will find, whether her mother will recognize her, speak to her, or drift somewhere unreachable inside her own mind. This unpredictability forms the foundation of tension, because no one can predict how the mother will respond or whether connection will break through the fog of memory loss. The daughter's inner world is filled with nervous anticipation. She holds on to hope because she remembers who her mother used to be, warm, loving, full of life. Yet she also carries the fear of facing another day where her mother may look at her with blank eyes, unsure of her name, her face, or their history together. Every step toward her mother's room becomes a quiet emotional test, blending longing with the possibility of disappointment. She wants to believe that today might be different, that today her mother might remember something, anything, that links them together at the same time. She prepares herself for the moments when recognition doesn't come, understanding that this is the reality of the illness rather than a reflection of love. For the mother, even though she may not fully understand what she is forgetting, she often feels the emotional residue of loss and confusion. Sometimes she senses that she should know the person in front of her, but the memory remains out of reach. This creates a different kind of tension, an internal struggle between familiar feelings and fading recollection. A tone of voice, a familiar touch, or even the daughter's presence might stir something inside her, but she can't always find the words or memories to match it. These almost moments, where recognition is close yet incomplete, amplify the emotional pull of the story. Hope enters through these small, fragile possibilities. A single glance of recognition, a whispered name, or even a shift in expression can rewrite the entire moment. The daughter clings to these glimpses because they prove that their bond still exists beyond the illness. The audience feels the hope too, because they understand how powerful even a short-lived moment of clarity can be. The tension arises from waiting to see whether that moment will surface, and the hope lies in believing that love can cut through confusion long enough to bring mother and daughter together again, even if only for a fleeting instant. The moments of recognition in a story about a mother with Alzheimer's reuniting with her daughter are often the emotional heart of the experience because they show how deeply memory and emotion are intertwined. Even when Alzheimer's has taken away names, timelines, and faces, it doesn't completely erase the emotional imprints created over a lifetime. These imprints can be triggered by seemingly small details that bypass the damaged parts of the brain and reach the older, more instinctive memories that remain intact. A familiar voice, a specific scent, a childhood lullaby, or even the warmth of a hand can evoke something powerful enough to momentarily bridge the gap created by the illness. These moments are rarely predictable. The daughter may speak softly, using the same tone she used as a child when seeking comfort, and the mother's eyes might shift with a flicker of curiosity, as if something deep inside her is trying to awaken. A spark of recognition often begins subtly, a softening of the expression, a tilt of the head, a pause in the confusion. It's not always immediate or clear, but it's enough to make anyone watching hold their breath. In those few seconds, the mother might recognize a feeling before recognizing a person, and that feeling is what begins to unlock the memory. The trigger can also be sensory in nature. Alzheimer's patients often respond strongly to scents or sounds from their past because these memories are stored differently in the brain. The smell of a daughter's perfume, the rhythm of her footsteps, or the melody of a song they once shared can create a bridge between past and present. The mother may not verbally express recognition, but her body language, leaning forward, reaching out, or relaxing, becomes the silent expression of something remembered. For the daughter, these subtle responses are as meaningful as spoken words. When a moment of clearer recognition does happen, it is often described as a brief lifting of the fog. The mother may say her daughter's name or use a nickname she hasn't spoken in years. She may smile in a way that unmistakably belongs to the woman she used to be. These moments don't always last long, but their emotional impact is profound because they remind everyone involved that the connection still exists beneath the layers of confusion. These flashes of recognition provide hope, relief, and a sense of reunion that feels almost miraculous. They prove that memory can sometimes be reached through emotion, and that even when Alzheimer's has taken so much, love can still find a way to break through. The heartfelt reunion between a mother with Alzheimer's and her daughter carries a level of emotional depth that comes from years of shared history strained by the unpredictable nature of memory loss. When they finally reconnect in a moment of clarity, it becomes more than just a physical meeting. It is the return of a relationship that has been slipping away piece by piece. The daughter often approaches these reunions with a mixture of hope and fear. She hopes her mother will remember her, even if just briefly, but she fears the blank, distant stare that Alzheimer's frequently brings. This emotional vulnerability heightens the significance of the moment when something finally breaks through. The reunion often begins quietly. A step into the room, the mother turning her head, the daughter softly saying, "Hello." When recognition surfaces, even in the smallest way, the emotional weight becomes overwhelming. The mother may speak her daughter's name, squeeze her hand, or offer a familiar smile that has been missing for far too long. These simple gestures carry the power of years of love, nurturing, and shared experiences. It feels as though the fog has temporarily lifted, revealing the woman the daughter has desperately missed. For the mother, this moment can feel like emerging from confusion into a rare instant of clarity, where she senses safety, familiarity, and affection. The physical connection strengthens the emotional one. A hug becomes more than an embrace. It becomes a confirmation that the person standing before her is someone she once held, protected, and loved deeply. Even if the mother cannot articulate her feelings or fully understand what she is recognizing, her body may respond instinctively, leaning into the embrace, relaxing her expression, or whispering something soft and meaningful. These nonverbal responses often say more than words ever could. For the daughter, the reunion is bittersweet. While she celebrates the moment of recognition, she also understands its fragility. She knows the clarity may fade again within minutes, but she clings to the present because it is real and precious. These connections, no matter how brief, reaffirm the bond that Alzheimer's has tried to blur. They give her strength to continue caring, visiting, and believing that her mother's love still exists beneath the illness. The emotional impact of such a reunion lingers long after the moment ends. It becomes a memory the daughter holds on to, proof that despite the disease's constant challenges, love can still surface in powerful, unexpected ways. The closing message in a story about a mother with Alzheimer's reuniting with her daughter carries the emotional conclusion that ties together the themes of love, resilience, and the enduring strength of human connection. Even though Alzheimer's is a disease that steadily takes away memories, clarity, and independence, it cannot fully erase the emotional bonds formed over a lifetime. A powerful closing message acknowledges this truth, offering both realism and hope. It reminds the audience that while the illness changes many things, it does not eliminate the ability to feel love, safety, or comfort. These deeper emotional currents often remain long after specific memories fade, creating moments of connection that feel almost miraculous in their simplicity. Such a message often highlights the resilience of the daughter, who continues to show up despite the uncertainty of each visit. Her patience, persistence, and love become symbols of the strength many caregivers must find within themselves. The closing message honors the courage it takes to face repeated heartbreak, yet continue loving wholeheartedly. It recognizes that even though the daughter cannot restore her mother's memory, her presence still matters. Her voice, her touch, and her emotions become lifelines that pull moments of recognition from the haze of the disease. This reinforces the idea that love has value even when it isn't fully remembered. The message may also reflect the mother's quiet strength. Though she battles confusion and moments of fear, she still experiences feelings deeply. She may not always understand why she feels comfort when her daughter speaks or why she relaxes when held. But those emotional truths remain rooted inside her. The closing message embraces this idea that Alzheimer's may take memories, but it cannot take the connection that lives in the heart. Ultimately, the closing moment reaffirms hope. Not the unrealistic hope that the disease will reverse, but the gentle, authentic hope found in the moments of clarity that appear unexpectedly. These moments become reminders that the person still exists beneath the illness and that love can reach them in ways memory cannot. The story concludes with a sense of tenderness, encouraging viewers to cherish the small victories, the fleeting recognitions, and the quiet exchanges that carry immense emotional weight. In the end, the message lingers because it speaks to something universal, the enduring capacity of love to persist, even in the face of loss, change, and uncertainty. In the end, this story reminds us that even when memories fade, love has a way of surviving in places the mind cannot touch. A mother may forget names, moments, or even entire years, but the emotional threads woven through a lifetime remain tucked deep within her heart. The reunion between a mother with Alzheimer's and her daughter is more than a meeting. It is a reminder that connection can break through confusion, even for a moment, and reveal the unshakable bond beneath the illness. It shows us that hope isn't found in perfect clarity, but in the small, unexpected moments where recognition sparks, hands meet, and love shines through the fog. These moments, fragile as they are, hold a power that stays with us long after they pass. Thank you for listening, for feeling, and for sharing space with this story. May you carry its message of resilience and compassion into your own life and wherever your journey takes you, whether you're caring for someone, supporting a loved one, or simply holding on to hope. I wish you strength, comfort, and the courage to keep loving even through uncertainty. Good luck, and thank you for being here.